This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Action.
Hello, welcome to Dying Up Here podcast.
Couldn't tell if you were dying or you forgot the name of our podcast.
It's both. I'm Kirsten.
I'm Jamie.
And we're dying up here.
You should stop being weird.
And we are here today in the studio talking about, I don't even know what to start with.
Well, I mean, timestamp, but birds are going to the Super Bowl.
Fucking go birds, baby. This has been a difficult season for me because we were doing so well on the tail end that I was like, it has to, like, something bad is coming. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're doing, some things are going too well. Mm-hmm. I'm bummed that it's the Chiefs, not just because I think they're a threat, but I genuinely Can I
spin it for you?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't want anything good to happen to Mahomes.
The one positive is that for 2 weeks we get to hear the Philly accent saying Mahomes. I hate the Mahomes family.
That's good. The Mahomes. Yeah,
that only positive spin came about because I drunkenly was saying, I do not want to see Patrick Mahomes on my TV anymore.
Yeah, I am very sick of him. I know we don't get into sports too much on here, but it's something Jamie and I are both very passionate
it's not
about.
Sports. I'm talking about State Farm commercials. I have had enough.
Have you seen all of because they tell you to bundle home and auto. So then they have Mahomes and Ma Auto on this commercial.
The one commercial I saw as a Super Bowl preview was they were doing like a focus group of the commercials, but it was for Doritos.
Oh, they're getting meta.
It was, but it was so good because one of the players and like the person was like something about Patrick Mahomes, and the woman was like, yeah, he doesn't have to be on every commercial. Mm-hmm. And that was like the feedback in the focus group of the commercial. I mean, like, get your bag, whatever. For every kid you have, do 10 commercials.
Agreed,
set them up, great, do whatever you want.
But also, like, I know that they did the State Farm thing in the beginning because Mahomes in the very beginning did look a lot like the current Jake from State Farm. Like, and they were doing bits about that in the beginning.
I guess if we're saying light skin and black.
Yeah, but like the same curly hair and everything. And like they were doing bits where they were like putting them next to each other and stuff.
I guess I didn't even pick up on that because one is so ugly and Jake is fine.
Agreed. Jake is hot as hell. But also Mahomes in like his first season. They stopped doing that because he looks very different. Like he is not,
part of me like feels like how, you know, how people always like shit on the Eagles and like Philadelphia teams. I feel like, am I being like fed anti-Chief stuff that my brain's saying that? I was like, nah, his brother sexually assaulted someone.
Yeah.
His wife is a garbage Trumper.
Yeah.
All this stuff is bad.
And which
sucks because that has nothing to do with him, but you are like his brother, that sucks because like.
Agreed.
But you chose your wife.
But, and also they've been together since high school. Which
I also, like, when people do the Taylor Swift stuff, I was like, you have to publicly denounce your active Trump friend.
Yeah.
Like, people give Taylor Swift all this credit. I was like, I'm not shaming the two women. This is separate from the football conversation.
Yeah.
But also, not to talk about women's bodies.
Uh-huh.
But if you're going to get all that work into your face, Brittney, fix those gums, my lord.
She does have such a gummy
Just like
smile.
Get the veneers or whatever you got to do to even that out.
I've been seeing someone point out on TikTok or whatever about how it's like a weird trope or like it happens a lot where like Disney adults have really gummy smiles.
Disney adults and army wives.
Yeah, it's like
remember that girl had this. I don't know her name, but she had an incredible video where she was like, here I am being a Disney adult because I'm way too smart to be an army wife or whatever she said. Yeah. She was like, I know I had two choices with these gums.
It's such a funny observation because never would I have thought about that. But then the second that you see it, you're like, oh my God, it is so true.
I don't know what that like gum, like what that trait is even called.
I don't either. It just makes you, in my mind, I associate it with this very middle America look, which I guess would be the same as army wives and Disney adults, possibly like would fit into that category.
I just mean like even genetically or like nationality wise, like where that comes from and like what that evolutionary like is even good for.
Well, I think it's just that, your smile, like
complaining to managers.
Yeah, like your smile goes so high. Yeah, it's
well, so I guess your if mouth you like don't have a top lip which coincides mostly with these gummy people. They have more gum than lip.
They do have so much gum.
And to go back on that, Brittney does a lot for women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not everyone's all good, not everyone's all evil. Is she 80-20.
I just wish that her husband could learn how to lose for once in his life. Just because you've been good your whole life, whenever he loses, he acts like the biggest baby you've ever seen.
People want me to like Travis Kelce.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're also biased in Philly because, like, not that we need to choose. Like,
but people
always
are.
said,
I see people cheer for him here.
Right. He's agreed. But I think this is his last year, though. I literally cannot see a world where Kelce, he has his own TV show now. He hosts the Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity show. He's in so many commercials. Like, he's done. And he also was on a Ryan Murphy show recently, like an actor.
I think Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce are like prime product of like having like a West Coast and an East Coast brother.
Yeah. So
like they are like such a meme of each other where it's just like the like hyper masculine but in two different directions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like one just being like what people presume to be in shape and like fashionable, and the other one just being like, it's not that cold out. Yeah. Like those are the two of them. Like I didn't mean to immediately jump to the women, but I was thinking about what we're fed media wise. And like I said, I think there's a lot positive about it. I'm excited, but I'm just gonna be like having like a stomach ulcer for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so. I'm gonna be in a mood. As Jamie and I have already talked about at length. In the text shop.
Someone like offered me their prescription in our group chat. Yeah. And I was like, or you can stop texting me. Yeah. Like, I said, well, you stop texting me about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we wanted to talk about some things this week. I have a couple. Some things. First of all, Jamie, what's killing you this week?
Oh boy, mine's intense.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Like serious, but can spin it to be funny.
Okay. I'll punch it up for you.
Killing me this week are the performative ally of men who are acting like this election was the first time anything bad has happened. Because I was just thinking like men are doing that thing they do where they're like, oh, women need me to save them. So I'm going to tell them about charities that I'm like, these organizations have been in place for a very long time. They didn't just, the ACLU didn't just pop up during the first election that he was elected. So I just have this smug, very bittersweet moment where you're like, these people are telling me how to live and that things are bad. When I'm like, yeah, everyone else knew this but you. Like everyone else was fully aware. You just got to ignore it till now. Yeah. Because now it's hitting your middle class pockets.
That is verbatim how I felt for all of COVID. Everyone getting the tiniest taste of what my entire life has been like and being like, this is a Greek tragedy. Yeah. I will never come back from this. It's like, you did though.
I didn't.
It is. I will say, I know. You want to be so bad, it's insane.
Well, it's like sometimes people like say they have long COVID. I was like, or you were just dumb before. Whoops. Cut that. Don't.
Cut that.
Keep it. We're joking.
I will say, in regards to what you're bringing up, I do think I could pinpoint the moment in the last week that you are referring to that maybe made you.
You know what's so crazy? Is I'm about to say which one because I lost my mind about 4 times last week. Yeah, I mean, I had a couple moments this week, like socially and at work, that just hearing people complain, like, it's okay that it's like your first time experiencing something, but to put it on other people like it's their first time. Exactly what you're saying about what happened with you with COVID when people are like, oh, I can't stand next to I can't hold my family, like I can't hug my partner, like you're like, yes. Okay.
I grew up on contact isolation. Yeah. The 6 feet rule has always been. Yeah.
And so that's what's been killing me this week is that where I just like will hear people complaining and like, yeah, you can feel bad and you can express it how you need to, but still dumping it on someone that's been impacted far greater than you is a wild move.
Yeah, I this is like, again, not too serious, but I have, and she is truly one of my best friends in the entire universe. And we have known each other for many, many years, but she has had a very good life, and I say that as a good thing. Like, and I'm glad that that's been the case.
Yeah, I don't want people to experience bad, but if
Agreed.
you don't know any different, you can't really express it to other people.
Yeah, and she has always admitted that. She knows, right? But she has always been very like libertarian about stuff like healthcare, like money stuff, like in the world. And one night she was really high, and she was texting me at like a high thought, and she was like, I know this is crazy, but like, how crazy is it that we have to pay for glasses or contacts? Like, it's either that or that person couldn't see and they would die. And I literally had to take a minute and to be like, I would have like, what a tone deaf thing.
You dropping your phone, but it like sliding through the core of the earth, like just like the ground just like melts and it just like
back out to the other side and then flew back around and hit me in the face. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. The idea that you have to pay for something that literally is just the thing you need to stay alive. I was like, it was just the best way I could describe it was like so tone deaf. I was like actually blown away. I was like, you're complaining. And it was only because this person just had to get glasses.
Have you heard my rant about glasses too? I should tell her.
No, go ahead.
It's like, I was like talking to a friend about like people having kids and stuff and talking about evolution because I love animals and stuff. I was like, it's crazy to me that people with bad eyesight keep having kids. I'm right. Like, I was like, nature doesn't put two of the most blind birds out there together and making kids. Those kids die.
You're not wrong. And
like cystic fibrosis, rare. Really hard.
Right.
Like,
and you wouldn't know if you were going to.
How many fucking little kids with their magnifying glasses are out here smacking their faces on walls?
I am one of those kids. Although my mom has never had like vision.
Your mom should have procreated.
Issue. Yes, agreed.
She rocks.
She's not the issue. I won't say who is.
Someone else.
Some other second party involved in me being born.
The Lord.
Yeah. There's always three people involved.
Yeah. No, I would like when people say that, I obviously like I'm joking because it veers very close into Hitler's ideals when I start talking about like
bioengineering.
Yeah. I'm like, well, why would you with that shitty trait procreate with that? I'm like, it's insane.
Yeah. You're like, and hey, to a certain extent, I think there are ethics involved. This is actually very...
Well, we've talked about that. Like when the science gets so good, you keep it going. So it's like people don't think eyesight is not a big deal anymore.
But unhinged
not everyone's
icebreaker.
Covered. If we had universal, yes, do your unhinged because I'll keep going forever.
No, I will do it when we get...
I'm not being fun, and I'm a fun and silly gal.
When we get there, I will go over it, but it is very related to this, weirdly enough. But yes, I agree. It's the same thing with men. It's like every man I know, and I say this with love because I appreciate that they come to the realization at all, but every man I know at some point has, as an adult, had the realization of like, they have to go buy a box of tampons for you. And then they're like, wait, why do you have to buy tampons when you literally have no choice? You're going to get your period.
Or the like,
we know.
You have to go to work when you have your period too.
We know. And if everyone got their period, we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, or like, you know, when people start to like have to look into stuff, like they're on crutches because they break their leg and all of a sudden they realize all the things that are not handicap accessible. And it's like, and I get it. Why would you, right? Like, but it is so, it's one thing to be like, I'm noticing this now and I have more respect for the people who do, but it's another thing to be like, guys, hot off the press, I'm the first one to get the word. I just found out. And you're going to want to hear this. And it's like, while the rest of us are just like sitting around, like this has literally been our entire lives. It's like men are sexist. Okay. I'm glad you're going. Are you okay? Do you want to go?
I have so much to say, and I'm not going to say any of it because it's all agreeing with you.
Okay.
And
that's big of you.
I just get like, it feels like I would go in a circle if I said my sentence where it's the people are ignorant until it's happening to them, and that's a societal problem when we stopped acting as a community and viable villages.
Agreed.
So I blame the 40s and 50s in this country, and that's that.
The 40s and 50s, like people who are that age, or
that's
people
when, like,
that time period?
That's when like the keeping up with the Joneses really started, and like people just keeping to themselves, single family homes and lawns and fences and keeping to themselves, and no one looking out for each other in the same way.
Well, I don't know if I've talked about this before, so if I have, we can cut it. But I've said this to my dad when we talk about politics, about like the research around why people in cities are more liberal. Obviously, it's more of an art hub. It's, you know, there's more people in the city, whatever. But it literally has to do with, like, at its core, the fact that in the suburbs, you seldom have to be around people in general, let alone people who are different than you. Because in the suburbs,
you are the sun, the moon, the stars when you're in the suburb, and there's an acre between you and anybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
and
we
even,
didn't know neighbors where we lived in Bucks County. Like,
but even if you live in, like, I had a townhouse, like, that was connected to other houses, but like everyone, all those houses are the same price.
Yeah.
So anybody who's there, it's automatically a certain group, right? It's in a certain area, so it's a certain race and all of these things. So, like, you're really not ever having conflict because you're seldom coming across people who live a different life than you, whereas you live in a city and you can have $1 million house across the street from, you know, a evicted house, right? Or whatever you call that. Like, and we all have to, there's more people, so we literally just have to learn. And by knowing humans who have the thing, like, you're voting on transgender issues.
You're just, like,
if you've never met a trans
with
person,
more people.
Exactly. And because you then know the person, my neighbor who's downstairs, he's Hispanic, you know, like, you start to get to know other walks of life. But so what that research tells us, though, is also that the only thing keeping people from empathy is literally just ignorance. Like, it only is that the more exposure you have, if you learn more things and meet more people, you would almost definitely be more liberal.
I always say that, like, something like when, like, middle America, like, complains about Asian countries or something, I'm like, or, like, just specific, I'm like, name an Asian country first and name an Asian person you've ever seen in real life.
Right. Do you have a name of a friend that you have that's Asian?
Yeah, that it makes so much sense. This is so stupid, and I used to watch too much daytime TV when I was younger, and I can never remember which show it was. It was like probably Cops or something. Okay. But they like did something as stupid as like they put up like a fake face on a tree.
Okay.
And they like put like purses in this like woodsy area to see like which like people would grab the purse more, and still even with the fake face they grabbed the purse off like the tree that didn't have the face, because they were just saying like anything like humanized even in your brain is harder to do. So it's like people like will rob someone if they don't like, if you're in an elevator with someone and chat with them a little bit, they're like less likely to rob you than if they just run the elevator and like smash a grab.
100%.
So
which is my big issue with so much of social media and internet, is like we have to do human interaction, but we have to take out the humanity because we don't have to look each other in the eye.
Yeah.
And that's just a really dangerous game. Like,
there's so many things where like I get comments where I'm like, would you say this to my face?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, because you've never spoken to a woman, so I got it. Like, that's fine.
They would not know what to do if they met a woman.
No, I guess that's my other killing me this week is that what I was saying about my Instagram followers, the percentage of followers is 70% male, and 100% of my ticket sales are women or at least femme presenting names.
I appreciate that.
Those are my two.
Well, one of the people are going to think your lineup is all women because the only man on it is Casey Kuptik. So,
and you're saying that because his name is...
It's a girl name.
I know boy Casey's.
I do too, but I don't know.
Man Casey's.
Sorry, yeah, man. Casey's a man.
But people say that about my name too.
Is it? No, yeah, you're right. That's true. They could think either of you are a man or a woman.
Keeping it spicy and gender neutral.
Yeah.
What's killing you?
What's killing me this
fibrosis?
week? Yeah, cystic fibrosis is killing me this week.
Okay, moving on.
That's pretty much, that's all I have going on.
Producer and friend Neil Wood here. Brief commercial break.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads, and you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast, and
anywhere you get your podcast. That's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
So, I have a couple things. So my icebreaker is...
Wow, that's a quick swing. I have
Yeah.
nothing. I have a couple things.
I have a lot of things, but I have nothing to do with what's killing me this week.
Okay.
What's killing me this week is I've been very sick and I've been very frustrated in worrying that woman got me sick.
Right.
And
But really, we could blame any and everyone.
I do.
Well, just, I swear to God, everyone was ill the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I just have the immune system of someone who licks a Subway regularly.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's killing me is do not come up and talk to people if you're sick.
Yeah.
It's not your decision, babe. Okay.
I mean, people come to the restaurant sick all the time. I hear them come right from doctor appointments.
And then you have to like touch their plate, scrape that. Like it is.
This guy sneezed right into a napkin and looked at me and put it on the table. And it's like a cloth napkin. I have to then go
The things that
bring to our
people
linen people.
things that people leave. Yeah, it's a linen napkin. It's so disgusting.
It was horrible. He looked right at me. And I was like, just
Like a
at
threat.
that point, take it with you.
Yeah.
Like at that point, stick it in your bag. Like that's yours.
Yeah. We actually, yeah, you got a free napkin. Okay. So speaking of bioengineering. Okay. So you know how it is illegal, well, not in every state, but incest is illegal because of obviously the risk of procreating. Like obviously it's also just gross and awful, but like the legal part comes into like endangering a child, right? By that standard, do you think gay incest should be illegal? Like two girls who are sisters, because they cannot procreate. Do you think that should be illegal? Other than it's disgusting and you should all be shamed for it and cast out of town, should it be illegal? I smoke so much weed. This is what I think about.
Okay, so if you're saying the only legal reason you can outlaw incest I've never like read that law itself, like the incest law.
That's why it's illegal, yeah.
Is just because you're endangering a child.
Yeah, that's like what the law falls on. You know, like they have laws and then they have like basically what you'd be committing if you did that law, like what you'd be in prison for or whatever. And it is endangerment of a child because of the just basic risk of procreating. Right. Because I think the goal was like, we want to make it illegal so that no one does it because it's fucking gross. But they were like, but how do we, in a free country, how do we like literally stop people?
Yeah, are you asking if any minor can't consent to sex federally?
Right. There's still like, but you're saying like sibling to sibling.
Even sibling to sibling.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about adults.
Right.
Like consent, like
okay,
like yeah, like in the same way that like two cousins in Alabama marry each other.
And
if they're both girls, should that be illegal?
Yeah, it says here that it already is as well.
Even gay incest?
Tell me why.
Yeah, there's no incest is a crime in all states, even consensual by both parties.
And the reason,
but what I'm asking,
the reason is just genetically, in terms of we get it. So,
it's endangerment, yeah.
Is it okay that two women, however they're related, even though they're not going to,
could two sisters? This is a completely separate topic. Could two sisters adopt a kid together? No, right?
They could, but they would be guardians.
Two guardians
I guess what I'm asking
can
is
adopt the same kid.
Sorry, I must have phrased it wrong since you both were thinking the same thing. When I said endangerment of a child, I meant a child that would be procreated.
I was even thinking like
they're adults.
you could hook up with your mom.
Yes, that's literally
like
what
right
I mean.
now. I'm saying,
yeah. It's not even about adopting.
Are you
it's
trying
just
to tell
like,
me and Neil something?
It's not even about adopting. It's just like
of course, my brain is jumping to be like, no, gross. Please stop talking to me about this.
That's what I mean. And it's so gross that it's like, is that enough to make it illegal? Other than like, I want it to be illegal personally because it's fucking gross.
Because then it goes to like the what is gross part of it.
Right. And it's tough because it's like, I don't want to be in a room with someone who doesn't think that's gross. Right.
But then it's also like, is it then illegal? Like, what if both like tubes tied vasectomy? Like,
right. Or someone is infertile.
I think incest is, I think it's not good. I'm going to say no.
Jamie's going to ruffle some feathers with that take right here.
I'm going to say it's a no because there is no clear definition on being queer and gay, because then it comes down to labeling certain things. And like, you're saying like the two people would have to be like, I have a vagina, they have a vagina, everything's fine.
Yeah. Or just like that if people, like, I mean, like you see like, in porn, like all the fake, like, family incest stuff. And like a lot of times they'll do the thing.
Like you're like, you see this.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Your algorithm shows you this.
Yeah.
But like, obviously it's always like stepmom or something. But then sometimes they do the thing where they try to like, like they can't.
You're
I think there's
asking
like,
if I think it should be illegal.
yeah. Like just people who are related having sex who are gay so that there's literally no active procreation.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's so many things I do think that should be illegal that involve child endangerment. Like incest, but I also think you shouldn't legally be able to, like, there's so many, like, I think we already have too many laws, which are why we became such a lawsuit country. There's just too many rules. Like, when you go to a place that has to write down all these rules, you're like, someone did that stuff. Like, we don't have any respect as a culture anymore. Society has, like, no... Like, you shouldn't have to say, like, hey, if you have active diarrhea, don't go in a public pool. Like, you should, like, that should not have to be fucking written down.
Yeah.
But we are at a day and age where that literally has to be clearly written down somewhere. So, like, when you're like, should I think it'd be illegal? No, I just wish people wouldn't be fucking gross and stupid.
Yeah.
But, like, we're at a point, my brain stopped working because I was like, if you have to tell people to not bang your gay sister, like, why are we telling them that?
Agreed. And that's the thing
But
is
that's
like...
how I feel about eyesight. Just die off. Bump into a wall till it's over.
Right. It's like, good thing you can't procreate. But it's like the fact that and I was just thinking about how...
My brain really was like, there's also no way to say it's not abuse. Like it goes into so many other, like, effed up things. But it's like, you shouldn't... I don't think it needs to be a law because I don't think we...
Right. We shouldn't... Yes. We shouldn't have to say that.
So
that's why I'm saying, like... So Jamie's pro incest. Is that what I'm getting?
As long as they're gay and both consenting adults.
If you're gay, you have the right to do incest. What do you say? Do incest? Take part in incest? Have incest? How many times can I say incest before this gets flagged?
I am worried about you.
Neil, can you write incest one more time? I just think it's like when you see people who genuinely, like, even if it's not illegal, I don't want to be in a room with anyone
it's how
who...
I feel about, like, using your turn signal.
Right.
Everyone should be using their turn signal. Technically illegal to not be doing so.
Yeah.
You're causing accidents. It's causing problems. Like, everyone knows what not using turn signal is. But, like, we still have to tell people to do it. So it's like we've just gotten to a place where people don't respect other people. So, no, there shouldn't have to be a law to do that. Is my final
There's
answer.
just some things, though, that I'm like, really the point of bringing this up is like, I was
people are going to do that. You're not stopping anyone by written word.
Well, I know. I guess my point is like, I kind of think it's funny that we do have some laws. Like, I know the incest thing, they like found a way to make it more of a legal issue. But like, we do have some laws that are just like gross.
There's a
illegal
legal issue, but it's also like, how are you going to know that?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
also, how many people also, like, you watch shows where, like, people are like, didn't know he was my cousin, like, second cousin or whatever. And you're like, how would you fucking know that?
I guess that's true.
Like, I had a thing, like, I have, like, some estranged family, and I was, like, swiping on a dating app, and I swiped on someone that was my nephew.
Oh, my God.
And I only know that because of a Facebook photo.
Thank God you knew that, though.
No, thank God he's not my type.
Okay. Otherwise, that wouldn't have stopped you. Okay.
Well, I literally said to him, I said something, I was like, this was so many years ago. Like, I think it was, like, still in college. And I was just like, or maybe a little after, because I didn't really use the apps in college. But I was like, how long on a first date with my nephew would it have taken us to figure that out?
Yeah, and then you get into the whole thing about that guy who was donating so much sperm, and so many people who don't know they're related to each other live in the same town.
Yeah.
And they probably all look alike.
I think everything should be illegal.
Agree. That's what I'm saying. I like
everything
the idea.
Or nothing. Purge or not.
I like the idea of just being like, that's gross, so it's illegal. Because I agree with it. Personally, I agree with it. If you do incest, please don't listen to this podcast
anymore. Which is
anymore.
so funny, because now you sound like a homophobe being like, gross, illegal. Gay, it should be illegal just because I think it's gross.
What if it's illegal because I just don't want to hear about it?
Then make it illegal to sneeze in your napkin at a restaurant.
And as it should be.
It should be illegal if you have if you cough more than once in a restaurant, you should be asked. You have to leave.
Even me?
Yeah.
But I'm not contagious. I just have a cough.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, that's fair.
If you can prove to me that it's like, but people cough it. Like there was a guy who was hacking at his table and went up, and I heard him say something about nebulizer and like asthma and stuff, but like hacked up. He went to the bathroom and he was hacking up so loud I had to turn the music up.
Oh my God.
And it's just like, you're uncomfortable. Like we're all uncomfortable, and now I have to clean up the bathroom knowing you cough everywhere. Your table.
Yeah.
It just everyone needs to get some decorum, some grace back.
Agreed. Yeah, so that's my unhinged icebreaker. Do you have one? I went extra unhinged on that one.
I don't.
Okay, no worries. I have some bits of the week I'd like to go over.
Okay.
Do you have bits of the week?
I have one.
I'll save some for next time, but I've been doing a couple.
Okay.
What's yours? Go ahead.
I'm not sure. I probably have said this on the podcast, but I decided I was like thinking about things I've been saying a lot, and I'll say not. Like if you were like, "Are you hungry right now?" I'd be like, "Not." Like but like say it as a sentence.
Right, like I'm not hungry.
Yeah, or if someone's like, "Do you think that guy's high?" I'd be like, "Not."
Okay.
Like, and it's just speaks to like. Not a hard yes, but I could get down with that.
Yeah, as like a mid.
It's a way more fun way to say it.
Yes, agreed. It's like a more fun way to be like, I'm medium on this person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if like someone's like, "Are you running late?" I'm like, not running late.
What is late, really, if you think about it?
It's such a fucked up way to like spin that.
Late is like a state of mind. Yeah, you're just doing,
I'm not avoiding.
You're spinning it, which is what we have to do to get by.
Trying my
You're
best.
great at marketing.
Trying my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my bit lately.
Yeah.
Not.
Mm-hmm.
Not.
Mine is, okay, I have two of these that I'll do. So one, because I used one recently when walking down Broad Street on Monday. My roommates and I used to do this a lot. Like if somebody's
just ran me another one. Sorry.
Yeah, like what my roommates and I used to do this a lot when like if somebody, because we all worked in restaurants, you have to maybe work in restaurants to get this, but I don't think you do. But like if we go downstairs and like the downstairs was a mess, we'll always yell out like, who closed last night? Yeah. And so I like to do it about open areas like Broad Street. So like I walk down, who closed last night?
That's good.
And it's, if you don't work in restaurants, it's just the way you say like, this is a mess. This is disgusting. So I've been saying that more because I think it's funnier the further you get from an indoor
into your
space.
Own kitchen and
who closed last?
Fun.
Yeah, it's me. I live alone.
Very fun.
And then my second one is, or you have another one, so go ahead.
The one that popped in my head when you just said that was the opposing football team fans were like walking by, and I love like a bait and switch where they think you're gonna be nice. And I was like, I passed a couple of people and I was like, hey, like I really hope you have a bad time in there. And this one girl, like I caught her so off guard because we were passing and I like touched her elbow. I was like, hey, I hope I hope you have a bad time. And she was like, thanks. Wait, what? Like literally did that as I could hear her like stop in her tracks and say, wait, what?
Yeah.
That felt fun to me because it was like such a specific situation where they like thought I was gonna be mean, and as soon as you do, they're like, "Oh hey,
yeah,
have a bad time."
Well, it's like the thing I told you that I really like that I see in comments when someone, instead of being like, "Not gonna lie, that was awesome," people will be like, "I'm gonna lie, that was awesome," and it is such a funny because it really does. It's a really nice, again, a spin. And then my last one for this week is so you remember like when you're a kid and you're doing truth or dare and then you say truth and then you don't like the question. So you go, okay, dare, right? And it's always like the cop out thing. I've been liking to say, okay, dare when someone asks me any question I don't want to answer.
Or like something else you have to do.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, do you know, like, do you have an appointment?
Show me your tax return?
Yeah.
Dare.
Okay, dare. Right. You have to say it like you're really thinking about it. Fine. Okay, dare. Because no one ever wanted to do dare. So I've been trying that one out, and so far pretty positive responses. So I'll let everyone know.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like that.
Okay, those are my bits of the week.
Oh,
Neil, do you have a bit of the week? James? Neil's in a mood today. He's wearing a mask.
Oh, I just thought this is a bit in the comedy sense.
Okay.
I'm having, well, it's actually just like a premise and thought I've been having. Is Josh is like the first guy I've dated who I was thinking like he doesn't know a lot of stuff. And I just realized he's the first guy that will just honestly say, I don't know, instead of trying to just babble words to get an explanation. Like at first I was like, God, I feel like he's saying I don't know, or like pushing me off a lot. And then I was like, oh no, he's being fucking honest. I've been cursing a lot this podcast. Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't even know why.
No, you're definitely correct.
But I was thinking about it this week. I asked him something and he's like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't know about that. And then I was like, is he stupid? No, he's literally the opposite. And he's being honest and like confident enough to say, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Versus I've dated guys who like, I'll be like, hey, like, is this? And they'll be like, oh, well, blah, blah. Fluff sentence, never got an answer, but they felt the need that they had. Like they felt obligated to answer.
Or like you bring up something and they act like they know what you're talking about, hoping you'll give more info.
Yeah.
But there's times when I'm like, if you don't know, just tell me, because I don't want to over-explain
something. You just wasted
something.
my time
right.
also.
I don't want to over-explain something and come off like I'm being patronizing. If you don't know, I'll just tell you real quick. But if you do know...
Well, I said this last week about the mansplaining thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, I just wrote that down, like a couple of days ago, where it's like, it's so crazy. He doesn't know the answer and he just tells me he doesn't know. And I've never experienced that. That so much so that I was like, is something wrong? And I was like, no, something's right for the first time.
For the first time ever. Let's get into laid arrest and resurrect, since this is a podcast about death after all.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
Yep.
Okay.
My late arrests.
Yeah.
Commercials for medications that have songs.
Are you referring to Sky Rizzy?
Jardians, is that the other one?
Jardians, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Truly any of them. Mm-hmm. It is so chaotic and so obviously making fun of like the middle class and just like people that don't have access to anything by putting a frickin' jingle to what they argue to be a life-saving medication. And then I think about the actors that are involved in the commercials who are like, okay, ready? We're going to like do the choreo 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're spinning over there because you have diarrhea. You're shaking over here for itchy skin. And I'm like, God bless. These people just want to do their art. Got a commercial. And
made more money on that commercial than they've ever made in their life. We're in a horrible state of things that we're doing song parodies sometimes to represent medicine. That's the one I was going to say. Is there's this one
they don't even pretend to be serious
where they sing a parody of My Way, Frank Sinatra's My Way.
Yes,
and it's all these old like adults.
I don't know what
50.
the medicines are for.
It's a really good point because I know the names of the medicine. Like I just said Sky Rizzy because that's one that has a song, but I couldn't tell you what that medicine does.
No.
If I had to guess, because there's only a couple commercials like...
Stops you from breaking into song and dance.
It's an epidemic right now.
Sky Rizzy, shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Sky Rizzy, this isn't Glee.
Jardians, more like shut up jar.
Ayo. Come to Jamie's show this weekend. You're going to get more jokes just like that.
Well, the Ozempic one, too. It's like O'Reilly's Auto Parts, but...
O'Reilly's Auto Parts, though, hits harder than any theme song.
It's like, we used to have... it was Auto Parts, Carpet, Empire Carpet.
Stanley Steamer.
That's fine. Make Empire. A jingle, get people, like, the name stuck in your head. If people are just going to the doctor and being like, oh, what's that song again? And they sing the, like, Ozempic song in the, like, that's what the point of marketing is for. Like, it's lost on me what these medicines are for. I wouldn't take it seriously. If I'm having any of the symptoms they're listing, I'm not saying, oh, the one where the fat people are singing and spinning around. I
want to be one of them.
I'm going to tell my doctor because I heard these people. It's horrible. It's like preying on the weakest of people who are ill at home during the day watching TV with commercials. Like, I only see them during games. And
I was going to say during games is when I see them.
This is like a mockery of society.
And it is like, imagine you spend 4 years in undergrad, pre-med, 4 years in medical school. You do your internship, residency, all of this stuff just to work your way up, just to have a patient come in and just reference a jingle. Like, oh, I already know what medicine I need. Don't worry.
I've heard of that.
I already know what medicine I need. I need that when they're like, ask your doctor about this. And it's like, it's like going in and being like,
whenever those laws change to allow those commercials is like the start of like absolute hell.
Yeah.
It's when people stop believing experts or science or anything and just were like, oh, I heard something. This is it. I mean, that's been the dawn of time.
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's true. But now we have
even I'm guilty of doing the like, oh yeah, I heard this or like I read this. I'm like, where? I
read an article, which means I watched a TikTok on it.
I had a thought. Sometimes I'm citing myself when I say, I heard
Someone
this somewhere.
told me this recently.
The voice sounded awfully familiar. I truly feel like
She's a genius.
That's my late arrest. I think those commercials are so upsetting.
They are so embarrassing. I would be there's so many that I see as an actor.
You have a 45-second hit of a song, and that's what you're bringing to your doctor? Like, it says ask your doctor about it. Like, what are you asking? Like, especially there's one for, like, plaque psoriasis, and it's just like, okay.
That's literally what I was going to suggest when I said I don't know what the medicine's for, but I feel like there's like 3 conditions that all medicine is for, which is like ulcerative colitis, arthritis.
Yeah, rheumatoid arthritis too.
Psoriatic arthritis.
Oh, yeah, that one's sorry. My bad to all our arthritis joints.
And IBS.
Yeah, you're either itchy or in the bathroom. Or both.
Sometimes both. Skin or
Because then
digestive.
if you don't have that, the symptoms are like, talk to your doctor if you experience more depression than usual, suicidal thoughts. And I'm like, wait, I'll take an itchy armpit over. Because then it's like, if you're suicidal, most people don't know, like, it's not like all of a sudden you're hearing like a Field of Dreams-esque voice being like, kill yourself. Like, it's not like a new thing. Like, depression seeps in and is a disease.
Yeah, and the whole point of it is like you don't realize it until
And a lot of them are medicines for mental health. And they're like, if your depression gets worse, it could get worse. That's an option here.
Like, I don't think it can get worse, babe.
Yeah, it's like if you experience more flare-ups, like what I'm supposed to, like, I don't even know what this medicine's doing because I listened to 30 seconds of a song.
Yeah, no, that's true. If it's not,
how much do you think those people get paid to do those commercials?
A lot. I know for a fact that like doing in
like right now, if your agent was like, "Hey, like we booked you for a Jardians commercial,"
pharma, I would probably get upfront, depending on how big, 15,000, and then you'd get residuals for the rest of your life, and the residuals pay the bills. And so many actors who like want to do the more deep intellectual
stuff. Is 15K
stuff.
enough for you to sell out and do one?
Well, plus the residuals is probably going to add up to be like $100,000 in your life. No, for me, no. But I also am trying to not just be an actor, but also like I myself am the brand I'm selling. So like I'm not just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to fucking, Like I'm like, no, I have a comedy career that I do care what people think about me. Whereas if you're just an actor, like, not just an actor, it's good to be an actor, but like your thing is to be like taking on different personalities, you know? And I'm like,
and one can be itchy. One of your personalities can be itchy.
And
they're always like at a park with their kid and like, ooh. And then someone's like, are you itchy? Do you want to be itchy and depressed?
Are you itchy like her?
Do you want to enjoy your kid's soccer game without flaking away, you sick fuck?
It's so true. And then they do like an x-ray shot of like the skin cells and you're like that's what's happening every day. Yeah.
And then when it's done, she's just like doing yoga with lotion on. Like that's
Oh my God. Always do it. There's always, I mean, I love.
Hey everyone, producer Neil. Looks like we ran out of time on this episode. The bell tolled. Don't worry though, part 2 coming soon. Subscribe now to the Dying Up Here podcast at Dying Up Here Pod on YouTube. And make sure to follow Kirsten and Jamie on all the stuff. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Hey, how you doing? This is Neil Wood, one of the co-owners of Drop 10 Media Network and who helps run Biggest Little Comedy. You can check out all the other stuff we do at drop10.com. We've got podcasts, live comedy shows, and so much more. Go over there, support your favorite podcasts, follow them, subscribe. We appreciate it. Again, we're 100% DIY, just a bunch of creatives trying to make it in this, and give us some feedback. We always enjoy a little feedback. Thanks.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.